I'm Ross Goldsmith, and this is your Franklin 5. This week, the commissioners approved the acceptance of a grant that creates a new and innovative unit in the office of Franklin County Prosecutor Gary Tyak.
A main initiative from Prosecutor Tyak's office entail us to allow for testing and other scientific evidence that may be used to determine whether or not a person can establish actual innocence. So how do these cases come forward? Well, they can come forward from the actual person who reaches out to the Conviction Integrity Unit. It can come forward through legal counsel or through an entity that specializes in this work, like the Innocence Project.
I want to commend Prosecutor Tyak, David Ingram, and yourself for bringing this initiative forward. I just really can't think of a more fundamental principle to democracy than the strength of our judicial system.
As our community continues to grow, the commissioners are committed to creating equitable and intentional development projects that meet the needs of every resident every day, such as the case with the former Kroger Bakery site on Cleveland Avenue.
Half Baked Holdings proposes a brownfield remediation that will transfer the former Kroger Bakery complex located at 427 Cleveland Avenue and the historic Ford Motor Company branch assembly plant. Both buildings will be retained and rehabilitated. 3 new buildings will be constructed on site. A total of 364 new apartments will be created, along with new commercial space and an interior parking structure. Once the remediation of the brownfield site is completed, a new $134 million project is proposed named West Bend that Thrive will be developing. Project plan calls for 750 multifamily units with affordable housing options, 100,000 square feet of creative office and incubator space, and a 12-acre park with water access to the site over the river.
This is really exciting, and I want to say commend the Department of Development, Economic Development, Jim, for staying engaged. This is public-private partnership. This is the discussion and the cooperation is how project happens. And I know Commissioner O'Grady gets a lot of credit for the county actually being engaged in economic development different than historically we have. And this is one of those examples. So kudos to Commissioner O'Grady for his leadership always with economic development.
And we as county commissioners have to keep our eye on that ball. Just because there's construction happening, just because the growth is happening, just because we're trying to address housing doesn't mean that the housing crisis is gone.
The commissioners also entered into an agreement with PrimaryOne Health to pair our mobile case management services with their mobile health units.
This resolution will permit me to enter into a memorandum of understanding on behalf of Franklin County's Health and Human Service agencies, Department of Job and Family Services, Child Support Enforcement Agency, Office on Aging and Justice Policy and Programs, with PrimaryOne Health to provide on-site case management supportive services at its community health center locations in conjunction with their mobile unit clinic.
PrimaryOne Health, through the Federal CARES Act funding, purchased 2 mobile health center units. We thought, how can we partner together to assist our residents? The solution was collaborating on where we went: events, senior housing complexes, community and faith-based organizations, and be a one-stop mobile health and human services center.
We're also going to continue to highlight Rentful 614, your one-stop shop for all eviction prevention needs. If you or someone you know is facing an eviction due to COVID-19, go to Rentful614.com. That's RENTFUL614.com and apply today. Finally, I talked to Jamie Riley, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners representative on the Board of Revision, about property taxes and what every property owner should know. Jamie, thank you for being with us this morning. Can you tell us what the process is for a property being reassessed here in Franklin County?
Anytime you think that your value is more or less than what the auditor places on it, it's always a good idea to go to the auditor's website and file a complaint there, mail it in, or fax it in. It's all right there on his website under the frequently asked questions. It'll help you with everything you need to know.
Can you tell us why it's important for folks to have this process done to their properties?
Although the Board of Revision does not deal in taxes, your property value does impact your taxes. So you really want to keep an eye on that and make sure it's not overvalued or even undervalued, because if you want to go sell it later, you don't want it to be undervalued either.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
As always, let us know if there's anything you want to hear about going on here in Franklin County. I'm Ross Goldsmith, and this has been your Franklin 5.